Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, my friends. This is, of course, the one and the only MRC show that never ends. Welcome to your Thursday night entertainment for the second week in a row. This is the Tier 0 race here at Brazil. We are live at Interlagos, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Paches, also known as the Autodromo de Interlagos circuit here in Brazil. If you have been watching this week, you'll have seen some incredible races so far, and very mixed driving conditions for all of our races. Well, it's beautiful, clear for qualifying for the Tier 0 this evening. Are we going to have that in the race? Well, we will wait and see. But before we get into all of that, it is an absolute pleasure to welcome alongside me, I should say, for the first time in quite a while. It is the return of a former teammate of mine, former Tier 2 driver, which I shared the track with many times. It's the return of the M&Ms. We are joined by the other Mark here in MRC, Mr. Dennison. The lions are roaring for Simba. Good evening, my friend. How are you? And welcome back. It's mega that we're back.
Good evening, my friend, and thank you for the lovely introduction. It is good to be back, and hopefully I'm not too rusty after about half a year away from this.
Yeah, that's been a while, hasn't it? You and I were obviously we're good friends, aren't we? Anyway, we've met a few times, even though half the country away, and obviously good teammates and battled together many seasons, didn't we? And then, of course, we were quite a solid pair, ready for Tier 1, wasn't it? And that we were together in the comms box, and like I say, it's great to have you back, man.
Yeah, we made it to track in Tier 1 for about half a season.
Yeah, we did actually, briefly, we did.
After a couple of seasons in Tier 2, obviously, we got the constructors together, you got the drivers.
Yeah.
Then we moved up and my pace just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I sort of got there just about, eventually, but stuck with it, but... Yeah.
The last two games just haven't really suited me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that was a lot of people felt the same way as you, buddy, to be honest. I got there at the end, and suddenly we've got to relearn a whole new driving style, as everybody does, in F1 25, and it is already an improvement. We've already said that, and it's just we've got to find our feet again, as many do, but we've seen, if any of our viewers watched the Tier 1 standings, there's a few of the boys at the top there who are, well, scarily quick, to be fair.
Unfortunately, I don't usually see the Tier 1 and 2 races because that's my night playing darts, but I imagine how quick some of them are, especially the Ogoni as it is.
Yeah, Benny is absolutely flying this season so far. Saviour as well, having a great season. Baby Honor, the 109.0 already on his opening lap. That's a heck of a good standings, good start.
That's absolutely disgusting time.
I can't.
Just makes me feel slower than ever.
Yeah, I can't do that. Doris 8.6, I can't do those times. So this is very quick. Of course, 0 tier. It replaced Extreme that we had last season. So this is 0 assists for all of the drivers this evening, and it's its own standalone tier, of course. So no matter what tier you are in MRC, whether you're Tier 1 or you are Tier 3 or 4, doesn't matter. We have our standalone tier, and a few drivers just in this tier, such as MJ himself, who's currently in garage. So, yeah, hopefully you had a few disconnects. So, C8 Lou in the chat. Hello, Lego Lancer, once again, lovely to have you supporting Formula W44. You gave us some good racing last week. So lovely to have you back, my friend, and Blurred Magic as well. So lovely, fellas.
What was that lap from Calvin?
Wow.
Just what?
Wow.
108.2.
Yeah, that's incredible. What a lap that is. I'll tell you what, Formula W is having a good go, and he does an 8.0. Wow.
Oh god, I feel slower than ever.
Yeah, so do I. This is demoralising but exciting. How far down the 1.7s are we going to have? We've not had Armour yet. Well, she does actually pop a 108.1 as I speak. Jules is being quick. MJ, let's have a look, see how he gets on. Sociopath hasn't finished his lap yet. And Ant, of course, as well. So, well, these are going to be some incredible times.
Yeah, it's just scary how quick some of these are. I mean, based on my qualifying last night, I would have been currently just behind Kaiser Soze. I did a 109.2.
I would have been with you.
And I didn't feel like I had much more in it.
Yeah, I did about the same in Tier 1. I was 18th.
That would have put me 13th in Tier 3.
Crikey. Okay.
If not for an unfortunate incident.
107s from Jules.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Just feel more and more depressed.
I kind of hope it's going to be a wet race now. I really, really do. No, Legoland.
Yeah, that'd be less depressing, watching them all slide all over the place.
I know. Legoland, no, it is just Q1, just the one 18-minute session that we have in MRC. That's the standard. We do bank holiday races and weeks where we don't race. Then sometimes we do a full qualifying, or we do a one-shot qualifying and a full 100% race distance. But that changes each and every time we do them. So it just gives a little bit of difference to the drivers rather than the standard format, which is the 18-minute qualifying and 50% race. So he's heard Legolancer. I love having him in the chat because he's so active. It's fantastic. So he's very welcome every single time. He's heard that it might be wet in the race.
That puts an interesting spin on things. It will definitely make an interesting comms.
Well, it definitely will for us. Yeah, it will. But as well, these lap times are ridiculously quick. I mean, it can be quite a high-ish downforce circuit, this one, just for that middle sector, for this tight and twisty stuff. It's a big trade-off, isn't it, Matt, where you think, do you go a high downforce, or do you try for a fast first and fast last sector? With the wet, that throws the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm quite sensible with setups. I like stability.
Yeah.
So I had what you'd probably call a higher downforce setup for this track, and I was getting left for dead on the straights.
Yeah.
But I was probably one of the fastest people through the middle sector.
Yeah.
So through all the twisty stuff, I caught everyone up, pulled away from people when I needed to, and it was just enough to defend on the straights, but it did make it hard to attack.
It does,
but like you say, in the wet, my setup would have probably been brilliant.
That's it. That's the trade-off, because of course DRS does get disabled. I mean, and this is it. This is going to be the biggest trade-off, and it's going to be so difficult, I think, for the drivers. It's going to be interesting because we've got people like Dumbers Hornet, Kaiser Soze has been very quick in Tier 1 so far. This game suits Steve down to the ground, so he's a bit out there. Dumbers Hornet coming back, of course, to racing, which is great that he is back. And then we've got, Smith's been decent, Loppy, so we've got a few people, I think, that I wonder if they're going a little bit conservative, a little bit higher with those wings in case of that. And then also that helps with the tyre wear, and we know how important it is for tyre wear just on this game, and we know how much the tyres can overheat.
Well, I mean, this track is punishing on tyres. I'm sure you found this as well.
Yeah, it is.
I was running a setup in early to mid 30s. I think it was 35-30, something like that. And I got about 13 laps out of the hards, and it was a challenge. I could have gone longer, but it was a big challenge.
Yeah.
But then you see, like, my teammate was burning tyres out like nobody's business.
Yeah, and that's it. My tyre temps round here were okay on Monday. Obviously, I had just zero speed. I know I got a bit hurt by the game and the way that VSC worked for me, and it just hurt me quite badly as and there's a 108.6. But I got hurt and caught out a little bit, which it really hindered me. I think I finished 16th in the end, but I know a top 13, maybe top 12 was definitely on the cards. My race pace was there, and I was the same with you, and probably pretty much everybody was the same for the tyre wear. That it it really did damage. The hards did the same thing, about 13 or so laps, but the mediums were about that as well. So I think it's a 36 lap race, this one, and it is. I mean, I like the fact that the game forces a two-stop. You're very difficult to do a one-stop. We have seen though from Friddy in Tier 2 that he's managed it. Last week he managed it, which was incredible around Canada. He did a fantastic job. And I think someone actually copied that in Tier 2 on Monday evening, if I remember rightly. So again, great job that they're managing the tyres well to go longer. So yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible, but I would not have liked to try and push into the 20s on them hards.
No.
Don't get me wrong, when I pitted, I was still, I think the worst tyre was about 30%. So I could have got there, but you can really feel the degradation on this game.
You do.
It's so harsh.
Yeah.
And it's more per percentage, whereas in previous games it was like 10% you feel a bit, 20% you feel a bit, 30% you feel a bit. This one, it's so gradual, so you'll feel it lap after lap. Your tyres are gradually getting worse, which is brilliant because it makes it more realistic. Yeah. But it's just a new challenge that everybody's now got to manage and realise that your tyres aren't going to be as good on lap 3 as they were on lap 1.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly that. And you're right, I do like it's more realistic. And I mean, the full car going into this middle sector for me personally was completely sliding. But because sometimes you felt it, you could turn in at certain points, or I could, and know where the slide was going to be, and sort of control it. I probably was a lot slower, but it's a bit more consistent with that. So yeah, it's sort of one of those that it's tough. I mean, we've got a few. It's very, very close. I mean, let's have a quick look at the chat. Friddy's done a one-stop twice. Wow, that's incredible. That's outrageously good. Tyre wear, well, Australia. Sorry, Lou. It's Austria we are at next week, and not Australia. Wrong continent, but close enough. The tyre wear is going to be difficult around there, especially in the middle and last sector. It's going to be very, very tough, I think. But Legoland said, he's loving it so far. It's Lego Lancer. But don't forget, folks, do hit the share button. Do share it on your social media channels. Do hit the thumbs up like button as well. We always love to have you involved, and it does help the algorithms for MRC to get ourselves up there.
We've got G-Star just coming up to the line. He's on an improved lap.
Lego Lancer remembers from last week. I kept saying Jules had a few track limit penalties in Canada last week, and I was saying he could get up to 21, which was blackjack, and he actually did. And Lego Lancers remembered that I called it blackjack last week, and he's on provisional pole so far. So I love that. I mean, to be fair, I can't remember half my commentary from last night, so that's pretty good going, mate. I love that.
I know it's weird how you remember things.
Yeah, I mean, we talk so much. I mean, we've been racing for many seasons myself since start of season 2 here in MRC, and yeah, I remember certain races, but I can't remember some of my wins. I can't remember some of my pole positions, which weren't very many, but I can't remember half of them. I really can't. I can barely remember which season some of the seasons I won the Tier 2 championship. I have to look back and remember it. But
yeah, it is definitely an older one. I mean, my most memorable commentary race at this track was the whole 0.011 between Chris Bailey and Saviour.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Absolutely insane, that one, wasn't it?
Is anybody able to invite MJ back? I've just had a message saying can he be re-invited, but I don't have anyone.
No, I don't either. I don't have MJ, so hopefully...
Not on the cross-play side of things.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to message Simon.
I was just thinking that right now.
Yeah, so Baby Hornet should hopefully get you an invite, MJ, and you'll be back in. Fingers crossed. I mean, if you're lucky to get in and get some quality done, but hopefully, mate, you've got your setup on, at least for the race. Let's go to Ant, who's in the middle sector. I think He's just done his lap. Yeah, he's in the 7.9s as well. So 3 thousandths of a second separate Jules and Ant so far. Formula W is on just started an out lap. But keep an eye on him because we haven't done an onboard lap just yet of this Interlagos circuit.
I think Kayser's just starting one. Oh, it's just invalidated at these kind of races.
Oh, that's horrible when you do it there.
That's painful when you invalidate right at the start.
Yeah.
Oh, Seb Mayall's back, is he?
He is. He certainly is. Yeah, joined in the off-season, which is brilliant. So is Vans as well. So it's great to have Frank back with us.
I knew Vans was back. I didn't realise Seb was back as well.
Yeah, he was one of our early races as well. So yeah, fantastic to have him back as well. I've had a few sort of previous races come back to the fold in MRC. And Doris on a slow. So where's Formula? So let's go on board with Formula for a lap around this track. That'll please Legoland. So here we are. Start finish straight. DRS wide open. As far right as you possibly get. Brakes about the 150 metre board. Hooks it up into third. Part of the centre S is lovely through there. That was very nice and quick. Using a bit of the curb. Fighting it round. DRS down the Retro-Aposta. And then pick your braking point. There it is. Just as the curves off into Decina del Lago. Down the hill through turn 5. Don't run too far wide. Managed it okay. Very, very narrow. Through here, up the hill into turn 6, Ferragula, which goes into turn 7 there. And then heavy braking into turn 8. Lot of sliding there. And then into Perlahino. Downhill, get the traction, get the power out there. Into Pico de Pato, turn 10. Gets it hooked up nicely, keeps it in third for the traction, keeps it to the left. Down Magulo, turn 11, flat out. And then spot the braking for Junção, bottom of the hill, avoid the curb, get the power up the hill. Turn 13, there was the kink. DRS detection just been and gone. Turn 14, and then the DRS wide open. Take the shorter run to the line, and is it going to be an improvement? It certainly is. A 7.88 for Formula W. Wow, I think Legoland's head just exploded. Because
I think mine just exploded. I mean, wow, how slow do I feel right now?
Yeah, so do I. Don't worry, I'm 2 seconds off that. And I'm meant to be 4-time champ. How does that work?
I'm meant to be a 2-time champ, but I still feel slow.
I know, how does this work? That's not. That's horrible. Yeah,
my excuse is 6 months out.
I know. TC, welcome, my friend, welcome. He's also supporting W44, who apparently plays basketball as well. Interestingly.
Calvin's just coming round the final corner. Bobo! He's on an improved lap as well.
Bobo's pinched it.
Oh.
Wow.
0.011 anyone?
It is. Oh, Calvin's so close. Look at that. There's less than a tenth between the top 5. Is Ant on a lap? He is. Ant's on a lap. What about Jules? Where's he? He's just out in the first sector. We're going to have to flick between the two. Ant's got a bit of traffic.
Jules is invalidated.
Oh no. Ant's got traffic though. Through turn 5 is he going to avoid? Oh, I think that was late. I don't know if it's hurt him. One of the McLarens, not sure who it was. Let's have a look through his middle sector for Ant. Thomas Horner's left the session. We'll have to invite him back. Oh my goodness me. This is so close.
Let's see what Ant can do.
Middle sector coming up. Is he up on his time? He's slightly down, but it's a purple mid sector. He did get hampered, but he's got a lot of battery left all the way up the hill. What can he do? Run towards the line. DRS open. He hasn't got a slipstream. This is pure pace that he's got left, running out of battery. Oh! He doesn't improve. Stays off. Calvin's bailed.
I think that's everybody.
Vitalso, yeah, and Dan in the pit. Oh my god. Ow! Oh wow. Bobo, pole position by 11 thousandths of a second from Formula W. Jules in third, Ant in fourth. 300ths ahead of Calvin. And only half a tenth behind that is Doris in sixth. Only a tenth behind that is Armour in seventh. Then Rassam 8th, G-Star 9th, Sociopath 10th, then Baby Hornet, Soze, Smith, Vitalso, Loppy, Dumas Hornet, Dan, Seb Mail, Vans, and MJ hopefully gets back in the session as well. Wow.
I can't believe the gap between first and second.
I can't between the top 5 or 6. Oh,
I brought up earlier about that 0.011, and then what do we get for them?
I know. Look at that.
Oh my god.
Look at that. The top 5. Less than a tenth
between them all. Wow.
You've got 8 tenths between that and 12. That's incredible lap times. There we are, folks. Oh wow. Read it and wait. Look at that. That's absolutely incredible qualifying. And I can't wait for the race now. I'm glad we've got 5-minute interval. Because
we need it to calm down.
We do. Imagine those two. Imagine Bobo now.
Oh, that 5-minute interval caught me out last night. I was saying to Gabba, like, somebody's gone early. He looked into it. He's like, no, it hasn't. Wow.
Oh wow.
You're gonna need 5 minutes to prep for this.
Yeah, but this is it. It's Parc Ferme. But this is the thing, because we've got a 5-minute interval, it can bring the weather in. It's very much set in, but it could make it end earlier. I wonder if we're going to see some dry running halfway through or so. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Evening. Monster. Lovely to have you, my friend. Get a rum after that. I have a beer. I haven't got a rum just yet. A beer will have to do. Legoland said Formula W's pretty angry that he just got picked to pole. Kind of not surprised, really.
I think I would be as well. Although it could be worse. You could have just lost a championship by that.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Imagine how gutting that feeling is.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very, very true.
Our MJ's back.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah, I've been pipped to pole by small margins like that before, and it is frustrating. But sometimes starting second or third can actually be better than starting on pole.
Well, yes, it can. It's a short run up the hill to the first corner. Who we've got? Upjoe Racing. Good evening. Welcome. Millward. Good evening. As well, Jabba. Good evening. As well, lovely to have some new joiners watching us this evening. So fantastic to have you. So thank you very much. Again, everybody, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like, and if you haven't subscribed yet to MRC, we've got 5 races every single week for you. And, well, we saw a bit of rain last night, especially Tier 4. This is now, we've got it again.
I want to say Tier 3 was dry as a bone.
I was going to say,
for a change.
Yeah, normally you
every race since I came back has had either qualifying or race with some form of wet.
Yeah,
it's like I'm cursed. This is the first one where I actually had full dry.
Yeah, we had a bit of a scare in Tier 1, I think, where it was sort of cloudy, could have gone either way, and then it was okay. But then, yeah, Tier 4. It's normally if Tier 2 gets a little bit always dry, Tier 1 gets this, basically. We had it in Canada, and it was absolutely horrible. So, as I know. But yeah, so as you say, lads, hit the like and subscribe. Absolutely awesome if you can. How many have we got? We've got 5 of you. Come on, folks, double figures. It only takes 5. Yeah, well, we've got this break, and we are talking absolute tosh. Please do, but actually
nothing new there, is there?
Absolutely not for us.
That's just what we do.
It is. It's what we're good at. So, unfortunately, we are missing Mr. Bailey, the blowhole this evening. But the championship after round 1, Bobo won last week. Ant was in 3rd. Formula W was in 4th, and it's only one race down, so it is very, very close. Armour, Saviour's missing as well this evening. We've got Soze in there in the mix, Rassam, G-Star and Socio all in the mix, and Calvin had a great qualifying, so he could jump a lot depending on how it goes. This is going to be a very interesting race, especially for as championships are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little early in the season to be too worried about it, but getting a decent jump early on can help you.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? If you get a good lead, it helped me in one of my championships as well. That I got a good lead start of the season. I think it was the last one I had actually. Won it in Canada with about 4 races left, and then had a few very shocking races after that. Where even the last race of the season, I wasn't a million miles away getting lapped. So how bad it went. But then I decided to pit early and pinch the fastest lap just out of spite. I think it was for Bobo actually. I think he got told off by it.
I think it was the one before that where we won the constructors. I think it was season 10. You'd had a really good start to the season and then had a shocking patch in the middle, and it became very, very close with Keza Souza towards the end of it.
Yeah, I think I won it here in Brazil actually. I think I was that 9 or 10? Yeah, that was 10. That was 10. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 10. Yeah, because I won both of mine in 8.
Yes.
Was teamed up with single track in 9 in the Ferrari, and then I moved to the McLaren with you.
Yes. Yeah. And I won it here. It was because it was with Steve. Yeah. And he finished 3rd, and I managed to win the race just about, and just clinched the championship. So. Ooh, full wets. It's not even inters. Full wet tyres. And
they do say when it rains hard here.
Doesn't it just? And one thing I've noticed about this game, and I like the fact, and I think it's because it's now the new gen consoles, they've got the better commuting power, which I've said this all through F1 24, is that now there is a dry line that forms when drivers are going around. So it can get better. Even though it still rains, and also, and I got told this from another driver, that when you go offline now in the wet conditions, it can actually help cool your tyres down. It didn't really work, I found, in the last game. Apparently it did work, but now it's a bit more amplified and does work a little bit more. So I like the fact that that's a key part now.
Yeah, I mean the changes for this game are incredible. I will be honest, I wasn't going to buy it originally. I had all my rig packed away during 24 for most of it. Mm-hmm. Decided to have one last go, and I was like, yeah, I'll do a couple of races. Quite enjoyed it, picked up a win, but I was really unsure about this. I think I ended up buying it like 2 days before the pre-order edition came out.
Yeah.
So I was very, very last minute with this.
Yeah, a few people were. I was reading a lot of things before I pre-ordered it and watching the players, and the fact that it was new gen, I thought it's now come to what F1 should have been for years, and now is getting there. This is definitely mega improvement. Before we go live, Mr. Hills is back from riding downhill very fast down some mountains, and he is again jealous that it's raining because he does like this weather.
The hills are alive with the sound of the single track.
MJ, you will be able to take control of the car once the race starts, unfortunately, just the way that it works. So keep going, you will be able to take control in a moment. Right, folks, we're ready for MJ's car to get to the back of the grid. And we're on board with Bobo. We've got a very strange camera angle, but we'll use it. Oh, it's moved. But we are able to see the lights. And now we have 3, 4, 5 red lights. A tier 0 in the wet. Goes racing. Very slick start from a couple of drivers. What a launch from Bobo. Formula moving across and gets a good launch as well on Jules. Side by side, the 2 V-cars into turn 1. That's Formula in hand. Formula just keeps ahead. Jules is ahead. He's got Doris for company. There's a few tangles a bit further back, slipping and sliding through.
A little bit of bodywork went flying in turn 1, but I didn't see who it was.
Dumason's lost a couple of places. Vitalso down there as well. Baby Horse gained a few, so it looks like it's going to be full wide at this moment. Oh, the Haas of Doris goes very wide. That's allowed Calvin to sneak up the inside. Oh, very wide again. Is that going to allow Armour to have a look? Not quite. Oh, a lot of drivers at the exit turn 5 going very wide. Oh, Doris has clipped the grass. That's not what we want to do in turn 6. Struggling for grip. Bobo in clear air though. Already a second ahead.
Yeah, he seems to be loving these conditions where you can tell a few of the drivers further back are really struggling. It's like Brazilian drift going on right now.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, we're talking about the wet setups and dry setups, and it is high down, generally, you know, that sort of higher downforce doesn't necessarily compromise you too much, but look at this, I try to put the power down outside of Junkow. That is really tricky conditions, and it does take a few laps just with the heavy fuel, with the tyre temps, and just the overall grip to know when to brake, how to turn. Pardon me. As Calvin's gone very much off track there. That's going to be a warning for him. He's that far off there, you can't really get away with that one.
Oh, it's Sociopath that's missing an end plate, but he's carried on. So he must be comfortable with it.
Oh, Thomas Hart's had a moment somewhere in turn 1, I think.
Yeah, it's literally a slip and slide.
It really is, but we've got Jules battling with Calvin and Armour. The gap's now starting to form already, and sometimes I've discussed this a few times. Is there a sign? Doris dry setup. Is there a sign? Possibly, but if you look at the qualifying times, Martin, you think a lot of the drivers have gone with the dry setups. It looks a bit set in, but it's a shout. It's a call to think, okay, if they can weather the storm here, and it does get dry even halfway through the race, they'll just pay dividends later on. And I think we've got a lot of action to come this evening.
One certainly hope so. Have you noticed that little glitch on the exit of turn 5 where it's like there's a sign in the middle of the curb?
Ooh, I haven't seen. Turn 5 usually, if they go downhill, they seem to bottom out a lot. It looks as though they've hit something, but they haven't. I've seen that in a couple of tracks.
Yeah, it definitely happens on this one. I've watched quite a few cars go through there, and it's like a sign's getting smashed.
Ooh, Calvin's on the inside of Jules in turn 1, locking up a little bit of wheel banging. And then Calvin on the outside of 2 has got the traction and gets the move done.
That was a nice move, was that?
It was a very, very good move. Very brave from Calvin. Trusted in Jules. There was a little tap. I think Jules just didn't know exactly where he was. But now Armour having a little look. Jules defends it. But look at the four-wheel drift from all of these drivers at the minute. But they've dropped 3 seconds to the top 3. So it's going to be interesting to see what Calvin can do. Doris is now looking interested at the back of this quartet. As Jules goes very wide at 6. Yeah, Jules very, very wide and slippery. That's allowed Doris to have a sneaky peek. Not close enough. Jules cuts him off.
I wonder if Jules is leaning a bit more towards a dry setup, because he is struggling a lot with traction and sliding and.
Yeah,
but like you say, if it does go dry, it'll pay dividends for him later on.
Yeah, and Rassam's caught up. The mentioned MJ was struggling to get in his car, didn't qualify up to 16th already, so a fantastic start from him. Yeah, really, really good start. So seems to have a good bit of pace now. He's back in the car, which is fantastic. Lovely to have that. Baby Horner's dropped back down to 11th. He's battling with Steve. That's going to be an interesting one between senior admin, head steward, and lead commentators with the both. That's going to be good fun.
It certainly will. Just trying to see if anything's doing for Rassam, because he seems very quick.
Yeah, Doris has seemed to sort of got his tyres up to temp now and seems to have that pace. He seems a lot more composed now. Calvin's dropped another 0.5 of a second to the top guys, but he's not dropping Armour either. But Jules just seems to be struggling. Oh yeah, there it is, turn 4, turn 5. They do seem like they're struggling. There seems to be just hitting something. And you're right there, that sign seems a bit off, doesn't it? That Aramco one.
Yeah, and it's like the curb has an invisible sign that gets smashed if they hit a certain part of it.
Yeah, I think they do it on exit 4 as well. I've noticed it a few games actually now have done that around here, and it just maybe the cars bottom out a little bit, and it just could be that sort of effect. But yeah, it's a bit of a strange one, I must admit.
It's very over-exaggerated.
Yeah, it is. Very true. Good for you.
But you do actually feel the bottoming out, come to mention it.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
You feel a lot on this game that you didn't feel on previous ones.
Yeah, and I think that's just because they're now able to increase the computing power. Now it's new gen that they didn't have to sort of. I've always said they almost had to scale it back a little bit for the older Xboxes, the PlayStation 4s. There's a yellow flag. I think that's Vans has gone round outside of Junkow. But yeah, they almost had to scale it back a little bit, and now they can sort of let it free and do what they want to do with it, and you know, the consoles and PCs will cope a lot better.
I mean, not to sound too harsh, but it is about time. The consoles have been out for 5 years now.
Yeah, that's true.
They've only got another 2 years left on the lifespan. Why were we still pandering to the old consoles for so long?
Yeah, it's a good point. I know we do have a lot of drivers still
End of
on.
26, they're suspecting a new Xbox, and 27 for the new PlayStation.
Oh, really? Did not know that.
That's what's expected. I mean, Xbox aren't going down the Pro route like PlayStation have.
Yeah.
They're concentrating purely for the new console.
Ah.
So I think they're going to try and get it out before PlayStation, because if you look at the sales figures, PlayStation outsells it, so they want to try and get it out early to get the sales.
Yeah. While PlayStation sort of have their older gen, if you like, from that. So, no, that makes sense. And then see what PlayStation do in answer. That's obviously, we'll see how that goes and how everything develops. We've still got Calvin dropping away. Armour's now gone through. He does before the braking into turn 1, but we've got Ant was close. I think he just had a moment through the centre S's. Formula is dropping. Bobo is really controlling this race so far, 3.6 seconds ahead as we start lap 6. Still some good battles though. Jules is still holding off Doris and Rassam, which is interesting, but Rassam got to run. Is he going to have a look into turn 4? Pulls out late on the brakes. He's on the inside. Doris gives him room, side by side down the hill. This is going to be very tight. It gets very narrow through here. I think there was a little bit of contact. I'm not sure.
Was a little bit.
Yeah, just a bit of wheel bang, and that sent Doris flying wide, but keeps hold of the position. Not sure. Well, it's difficult to see, to be fair, for him. Even though we were riding sideways on, it was a bit difficult to see exactly.
I think Baby Hornet's finding some pace, because we missed. He's got past Kaiser Soze and seems to be chasing down G-Star now.
Yeah, this is it. And this is it because the tyres now start to come in. If we watch any sort of wet qualifying session, whether it's full wet, so wow, and drifting out as young cow, big time. But any kind of wet session, any intermediate qualifying session, you get to that lap 4, 5, 6, and that's where the tyres are up to temps. They've got enough wear that they've taken that top layer off, and people got their eye in. It's a bit. There's a racing line, which is actually starting to form a little bit now, even in these conditions. That's where the lap times start to come in. It's not surprising now people just starting to really reel him in. Baby Hornet actually is just taking a second out of G-Star. So I don't know if he had a moment out of at the end of that final lap, but there's Baby Hornet. And it is interesting. I do like the fact that even in these conditions, it does start to have a racing line. And as Martin just funny enough just pops up and says, it looks like it's getting ready for Inters soon. Yeah,
it does seem to be drying, and Bobo's fastest lap was about a second quicker than the one he set 2 laps before.
Wow.
So the times are coming down, the track's starting to look a little bit drier. Certain drivers especially are looking faster, except Baby Hornet, who is now drifting into turn 6.
Wow.
Well held though, well done.
Very well held, that man. That would have been panic station. I can hear it right now.
I've crashed at that corner in the dry.
I think I have years ago.
I know you had a big drift there the other day as well.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. Yeah, it just randomly went. It was actually more 7 than 6, but hey ho. Yeah, wasn't fun. We've had a few. That Monster had it as well, but we won't mention that, will we, Andrew? The faster than the Simon, as Martin says.
The exit he's just got off Junk Cow. He's past G-Star before the DRS line even hit.
Yeah. Wow.
He's starting to look very quick and very racy at the moment.
Yeah, G-Star doesn't like to give it up, and he hasn't, but Simon defends it a little bit deep on the exit of 1. It's going to compromise him through 2. Is G-Star going to try on the outside of 3? Not enough grip, but the traction that Simon gets is absolutely phenomenal.
This is going to be interesting on the way to 4, though.
Yep, G-Star's trying it on the outside. Simon's gone defensive. Just about holds on. Does he keep it on track? He does. G-Star's gone wide. Simon holds on.
Isn't that your favourite corner with Mr. Hills, turn 4?
You know, Connor mentioned that as well on Monday. I still have PTSD over it. I hate that corner. I still do now, even though I'm on my own. I still hate it.
We had multiple incidents with multiple drivers in one race at that corner.
Yeah, I think I had 2 with Martin in, well, 2 seasons, or 3 or 4 with him in a couple of seasons. Twice with him in the same season, I think. One was X and our tier 2, and I can't remember who else I've had contact. There will be. There's definitely somebody else.
And the lap times are coming down again, although that wasn't as much of a jump. I think it was a couple of tenths that time.
Yeah, I think it was a 25.7, but they're 23.1
23.1 from Armour.
Yeah, this is now getting quicker. Now he's past Calvin. He's on a charge.
I'd like to see what... Let's have a look what... Baby Hornet's looking quick, but his fastest is a 24.7.
But he's been in dirty air as well. He's been battling with Sosa and G-Star, so...
There's only 2 drivers in the 23s so far, and that's Bobo and Armour. Everyone else is in 24s. Calvin's is a 25, G-Star 26, Kaiser, Socio, Smith, Dumist, all 25s.
Yeah,
MJ is a 24.6.
Yeah, he's up to 14th, so that man is really flying now, which is great to see for him. But Bobo up to 6.2 now, 6.3, and we're only at the end of lap 9. So that man absolutely flying, and still up the rear of his teammate for me. I wonder if he's just looking after tyres as much as he possibly can, using as little battery as he can. But at that same point, Armour's flying. Armour's going to be with these two very, very soon. And we've got 5, well, blue/white cars in the top, well, 6 actually. So that's going to get confusing later on for us.
Yeah, it's definitely confusing. It's looking like the Alpines have got a big stranglehold on this race at the moment, along with the Racing Bulls.
Yeah, they do, don't they? They really do. Jules and Calvin having a ding-dong into turn 1. Calvin's, he did this in Canada, looked strong, and then sort of his pace faded. I don't know if he's overworked his tyres a little bit, and they're just not giving him the grip at this stage that he really needs from them. What's going to be interesting is that we're going, obviously well, they're saying here that one of the strategies was a one-stop with the wets, but I wonder if people are going to try the 2 and have that fresh rubber.
I'd be more inclined to a 2. I wouldn't have fancied a 1 even with the hards to mediums, and I don't suspect the wets are going to be much better.
No,
especially with this dry line that's appearing, they will start to overheat, which, as you know, starts to then burn them out. So drivers are going to have to start driving offline as much as they can to cool them down, if that works these days.
Yeah, apparently it does. I have been told, and I did try it briefly in Canada, and it does a little bit. It does help a bit, but the only real chance you've got is that first and last sector, 23.1 now from Bobo. Those lap times are really dropping. So I think Martin might be right. We may see an intermediate switch. And the
Calvin is really struggling on them tyres now.
Yeah, he is. I think he's just burnt them a little bit. Dan's got 10 seconds for corner cutting. I wonder if that was top of the hill and it's caused him to, well, do what Andrew and I have PTSD about. Oh, that was close from Massam at the back of Calvin. Just about got the car stopped. Calvin drifting through 2. There's a yellow flag, and I think that's Loppy and Dan. It was Dan. Again, they're struggling as well at this point. I think we're not far off from a couple of pit stops. As you say, I think a 2-stop would just be safer. I mean, it's finding the gap. That's the hard part. Because there are a few gaps. Seb Miller's got 13 seconds to Dumas Hornet. But Baby Hornet has... he's not actually caught up to Doris, who's on the back of this Calvin Rassam battle. So, Baby Hornet has dropped, and now he's in free air. But I wonder if he's just used a little bit too much of his tyres as well. They're just being in dirty air and battling for the first part of this race. But I tell you what I said about Armour catching the second and third. He's there, you know.
He is, yeah. You know, if I was the Hornet brothers, I'd currently be contemplating Dumbest Hornet pitting for intermediates.
They are on different teams, unfortunately. I mean, if they're in the same team, it would probably be a good idea. But yeah, I think.
Well, they're both in the same car.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong person. Sorry, yes, they are both in the same team. Yeah, that's not a bad call. He's not quite, but I tell you what, Ant's been the closest he's been to his teammates through turn 3. Formula W just gives him room. And on the inside, has he got the bravery on the brakes? Not quite close enough. That's the first time we started seeing the teammates battle. since turn 2 and nearly there, kept it clean. But they've got a good... how long is a pit stop here? About 19 seconds? We're not far off Bobo coming out ahead of Jules if he pits.
I think it is one of the quicker pit stops, although the exit's a little bit funky. And probably won't be fun in the wet.
No, I mean, I somehow on my second stop on Monday managed to completely spin as soon as I took the limiter off, and then ended up on the track with a warning. It completely took me by shock, and then I lost another place because I was like, what on earth's going on, and realised, oh wait, I'm on track in neutral. So, yeah, that one hurt me even more.
Yeah, I really don't like that corner because it's just as you take the limiter off, you've got to be so careful with the application of power.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And then you drop down the hill and you've got that tight right. Once you get past that, you can pretty much boot it through the left and come out on track at a decent pace.
Yeah, in the dry, yeah, you certainly can. You've got. It's a bit bumpy though, so it's still got to be cautious.
It's a bit like Austria where we're going next week. You can power it up that hill, and then the corner's quite tight.
It is, yeah. Oh,
if you get it wrong, you end up taking your wing off.
Yeah, and so close, but I tell you what, Formula's gone wide through turn 4. Just holds on.
Yeah, this reminds me of me and Gav last night. The car in front's working at you.
Oh, absolutely, and Armour's just sitting there now, and this is just allowing Bobo's going to be loving this. He has dissipated at the distance. They're coming up to lap Dan. Unfortunately, I think he may have had a pit stop. Double check that one. He has, and so has Loppy as well. So I'm not tyres. Now Loppy's on the intermediates, so it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in terms of his overall pace. I mean, 3 seconds is not going to help, granted. But it'd be interesting to see how he closes on the drivers ahead on intermediate tyres.
It's like Ant was just pushing his teammate out that corner then.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I know we've got battles with Rassam, Doris and Calvin still, and as Jules is now gone away from them, but Baby Hornet's gone away from G-Star, but look at this, and in the inside, just enough room, squeeze from Formula, and now Ant, has he got the track position, has he got the pace through turn 3, down the Retta de Posta, has he got it? I don't think he does. I
don't think he's got the straight line speed.
No, it doesn't look like it, does it? He's gone more of a conservative setup, which you can see he's got a lot of pace, but just at the end of the straight.
Calvin's under pressure.
Oh, there's been contact! There was contact, and Formula was a bit sideways and skittish, and I think then Ant had the pace and just had the back. They both went sideways. Formula is on the outside, Ant on the inside. Oh my goodness me. Through 8, Ant's on the outside. Through 9, Formula on the inside, has Ant got the traction? He does, and Ant's through, but Formula's coming back at him on the inside, 4-wheel drifting, side by side once again. Oh, there's been contact! That's Formula just got on the grass, and now Armour's through.
That was a full-on Hodgie howl.
I didn't know which one to look next.
And whilst all that was going on, Rassam's finally got past Calvin.
That's how he does. But
that's the battle I was watching, and then obviously that battle kicked off. It's like, where do we look?
Exactly. Formula's now decided to pit. So let's keep an eye on the tyres now, because he was very snaky through that middle sector, very, very skittish. So was Ant. Ant left room, there was Ant always does. They both did leave enough room. I think it was just the sliding that caused that tiny bit of contact. Yeah, now, and Jules is pitted. Intermediate tyres. Formula should come out ahead of Baby Hornet, who's now coming across start finish line into turn 1, so it's going to be quite close between those two. But then he's got through on that one. So now we'll keep an eye on Formula W on his time, and what as well are Armour, Ant and Bobo going to do? Are they going to follow suit?
Dumbest Hornet is now in. I wonder if they were listening and took the bait.
Yeah, Dummett and Smith have both done exactly the same thing. We'll leave the tyres on actually, because this is now going to be this pit stop phase. It's still raining, but there is a distinctive line going through the racing line.
It's now just seeing who's got the pace. Do these intermediates start to make major ground very quickly?
That's it. Formula W's got 10 seconds to Doris, so take a lap or two to feel for it, feel the grip, of course, and just get them working. But Ant's just set the fastest lap, 22.5. So I think we may be at the crossover, but Formula W has taken tenths off Doris at this moment in time. He's taken a huge shot. He's taken 3 tenths in about 2 corners.
Jules is doing the same against Baby Hornet as well. It's painful to watch at times, although Formula's dropped back from Doris now. Wonder if there's certain parts of the track that are a little bit...
That could be turn 1, just outbroke himself a little bit through it, but then he just gained it straight back through 2 and 3. So I think we're at the crossover phase. G-Star, Sociopath are both in intermediate tyres for them. We're at that crossover. I think this fresher tyres and Inters are good enough. We're seeing that, and now we're at the cross, and it's the fresher grip. I think this is now time for the pit stops. I think. Whoa, Ant! Through the Herculo. Wow, down the hill. That was very scary moment. Well held. Did very well to keep hold of that. Bobo's continuing. He is okay at the minute. He has got a nice cushion. He's got 20... Oh, hang on, I've got to do some maths here. It's 23 and a half seconds to Rassam. So he's got a pit stop ahead of 4th.
He's got a fair chunk, and Ant and Armour haven't pitted just yet.
No.
I think they're trying to hang on them extra couple of laps.
This is it, we're about halfway through now as Calvin does pit. I mean, he's probably very relieved to pit. We saw how snaky was in that middle phase of it. So, yeah, I mean, Legoland's
I wonder if that's what
this.
Ant and Armour are trying to do, get to the halfway point.
Yeah, but there, look at that lap. That's a quick lap, 22.4. That's a lot quicker than what we've just seen. So he's definitely pushing on. Come on, folks, only 8 likes from all of you. Come on, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up.
That's only a 10th faster than Ant, though. He's a 22.4.
Yeah, so, but that's it.
And 2 tenths faster than Bobo, so it's about the crossover, but if you can cling on with the wets, it's probably still alright to do.
Yeah, probably is just at the minute, but they're not going to feel good. They are going to be sliding. We've just seen Ant last lap sliding around. MJ hasn't pitted. He's now up to 8, but he will have a pit stop very soon. He's got his teammate for company.
Let's see what they do this lap. Are they going to take the bait and go in, or are they going to carry on again? I think Ant's coming in.
Yeah, he is, and just as Martin said, because of that, as Calvin gets through and MJ lets him through, but so as Armour followed him in, we're looking at the undercut. Because of the extra laps, this is going to be close. Formula W is coming out as Junkow up the hill. This is going to be very close indeed. They are both moving. Ant and Armour in the pits. They're at the pit exit now into turn 1 as Formula sets another fastest lap. This is going to be very, very close on exit. We'll certainly see them. The top of the screen, there's one. Where's Ant? He's coming through turn 3. Ant's got it just. Formula Armour as well just keeps ahead. So Formula not quite enough, but he has closed the gap from what it was after that contact he had, unfortunately, with him sliding into his teammate. So that's, and he's got... why is Dan moving so slow? I think he's probably letting some people past.
Did you see that disgusting lap from Jules though? 21.6.
Wow.
He's got them inters really working now.
And that's it. It does, we've said 2-3 laps. They're going to be a beautiful temps now, and I think Formula's going to look dangerous and try to use that undercut to get close. But he's sliding a drifter. We were on board with him. That was scary. He got a little bit trigger happy, and the rears just weren't happy, complaining all the way. Bobo's in the pits. Oh, Leah's gone. Oh, Formula down the hill. Americano on board. Oh, how did he hold that one?
That was very, very well held.
It really was. Rassam also pit. Bobo's going to come out shooting well in the lead. He is. He's gone through turn 2 now on the pit exit. So Bobo continues on his way. But that
puts
was
Ant back up to second.
Yeah, Jules 21.5 now. Jules absolutely motoring along.
Yes, it's one of them. If you get slightly offline, you really slide.
Yeah.
But if you can stick to the drier line, them tyres are brilliant at the moment.
Yeah, it's slippy and dampy enough online. You could still cool them down, but you're right. Yeah, you're right. As soon as you get offline, anything there's just no grip out there whatsoever. And we are seeing that. I mean, to be fair, we're doing quite well as well with penalties. 10 seconds for Dan. I think he's sped in the pit lane, and Loppy 3 seconds. Everyone else very good so far. I probably completely and utterly jinxed it.
Probably.
Yeah, more than likely.
Vans and Vitalsa are still on the wets.
Yeah, now
they've just pitted now.
As you've said it.
Commentator's curse.
Absolutely. Sociopath having a battle with Dumas Hornet, 11th and 12th. We're going to cut down to them because we haven't seen them much.
I'd suspect Ant is a little more comfortable on these intermediates at the moment. He's taking 10 out of Bobo.
Yeah, that's it. That gap was 10 seconds or so, and there's only about 1 lap difference between the two, and there you go. Oh, look at them in the 20s now.
Ant did a very good lap, and then Armar just went and smashed it completely.
Yeah, and they pulled away from Formula as well in this, as they're setting those. Sociopath still got that. I think he's lost both end plates, if I'm right in watching. He actually has. Sociopath's going for the lightweight Haas strategy, and he's holding on the back of Dumas Hornet. He's got MJ for company, which is a fantastic race, I must say, from MJ, from not qualifying, starting at the back of the grid, wasn't able to sort of do the formation lap and took control of his car on the grid. This is a great race from him.
He's definitely coming along well.
Yeah.
We could get a very exciting end to this if it doesn't dry up anymore. Because the tables have turned now. Bobo was so quick on the full wets. Now Ant's looking quicker now they've gone to intermediates.
Yeah, that gap just hovered about that 8.2 last time around. I think we've had a spin. It's either Seb or Vital, so I think that was Seb Mail who's had a spin coming up the hill, and they have been lapped as well. So up to 17th, Bobo at the pace he's got has got through, and Ant's losing time behind those people at the moment because Armour's right there on his tail. Oops, excuse me. Oh, there is Armour. There he is having a look into turn 1 with the lap cars. That caught Ant a little bit. He's dropped about 9/10 of a second as well down the start-finish straight, and that's allowed Armour back to having another sniff.
Armour's definitely looking racy, and any opportunity he will be through.
Yeah, we know what he's like, don't we, and how he races. He's a very keen racer, isn't he? Absolutely, very, very keen indeed.
Yeah, you only need to give him half an inch and he'll take a mile.
Yeah, we certainly do.
There's a few drivers like that in the league. You know not to even leave them a sniff or they are going through.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They just have that instinct, don't they? Rassam, Doris and Calvin starting to reignite their battle once again. Baby Hornet just not able to make headway. Now he's got through there. He's now dropped to 16.5 seconds off the back of Calvin, but he's pulled away to 3 seconds ahead of G-Star, so he's still doing very well indeed. His brother only 2 spots behind, so they've pulled on up a little bit more. And Dumas Hornet pissed a bit earlier, and it seems to have worked okay from 20.3 now for Bobo.
He's found his pace now.
Yeah, he does. He has.
Hasn't got an answer to that. He doesn't.
Not this time. It's about the same in terms of the gap. So I'm going to look at this Doris battle because this has been igniting for a little while. Vans and Seb Mail having a ding dong as well. I forget, points down to 15th. So still all to play for. Sociopath and Dumas Hornet may have had a moment somewhere along the lap.
That's allowed MJ through.
Yeah, up to 12th. Great lapping. He's on the back of Sociopath. So I want to see this battle because MJ coming from the back. And he's missing end plate as well. So he's been a little bit of the wars.
I'm not sure with this game, but I know on previous games missing an input isn't as bad in the wet. You'd think it would be.
Yeah.
But it actually seems to be easier to drive like that in the wet because of all the sliding you do. You don't notice it as much.
Yeah, you either don't notice it, or it's sort of one of those that you're at slower speeds, and it seems to be the higher speeds that it affects you. You know, your 5th gear corners, your 6th gear corners. That's where it really hurts. But in the wet, we are a lot. There's not any fast corners really around here, apart from maybe turn 3, down the hill, turn 5. from turn 4, but that's about it. And even up the hill now, as Armour's in the 19s now, so the lap times are coming down. Link to the Discord in the description has expired. We do need to change that, so we'll get around to that. But yeah, this is it, because like I said, they're at slower speed, so that damaged wing isn't always the worst thing in the world. It doesn't affect you as much.
It's certainly not affecting these two.
No, not the minute.
I mean, Sociopath's got no end plates at all, and he's still cracking on.
Yeah, to also join the penalty club. I have seen some of the messages in the YouTube, and I'm not going to comment on them because I don't want to jinx it.
Oh, let's have a quick look since I'm sat here.
Yeah, you can actually see them. Thomas Hornet joins as well, the 3-second club. So now the rain's still there. It doesn't seem to be dying off too much. Oh, as Jules goes very slidey down the hill. But Armour's still there in the back of it. They've closed about a second to the leader. A few gaps forming, one of the closest on track. Let's have a look at Lopi and Case Soze. These two have done battle for many a season. And now Lopi in 14th, Soze 15th. Lopi with a time penalty though. And Soze, look at the drifts through turn 7 into turn 8.
Yeah, I see Mr. Hills and Legoland are potentially jinxing things there.
Yeah, they're trying it. Martin's got form as a commentator.
I'm not going to repeat what they've said because I don't want to be causing a commentator's curse.
That's why I'm not as well.
First race back, I don't want to get a reputation of killing people off.
I've got plenty of reputations. I'm fine. I don't mind.
I think Connor's the worst one for that.
I taught him everything he knows. He just got quite good at it.
He just makes everybody else look amateur when it comes to commentators' curses.
I know, he does a little bit. I just like joining the YouTube chat and trying to jinx him when I'm just from briefly watching the chat.
Although nothing's going to ever beat my curse on Gav when I pointed out his Rangers helmet and he spun on cue.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was a quarter, was it? Second last corner, quarter. Look at that! Wow, turn 3. I think that was Loppy. Wow, that was really hard to play. In 9th, so he's doing well. There's the younger of the two. Some say the wiser, some say otherwise.
We'll let them two argue it out.
Oh, they normally do.
They're both good lads, though.
Oh, yeah. Great brothers. They are, between them. And Ants now just dropped a couple of tenths to Bobo front. With still Armour behind him. Formula's really dropped off the back. He's going to have Jules for company anytime soon, so we're going to keep an eye on that 2.6 second gap with Jules and Formula W. Vans is retired. Oh, that's in the pits. Oh, we didn't even need to jinx it. But 24, no assist, wet, no grip. That's pretty good racing, pretty good going, Vans, and your return as well. Credit where it's due.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd have got to lap 2, let alone lap 24.
I just can't do no assists, so I've just got no chance. Loppy's pitted. Let's have a quick look. But he pitted very early on the Inters, so he did 17 laps and is ready to go at 19.7 for Bobo. Not far off in terms of lap time with Ant, I think, this time around. But they will have done about that, the leaders, when they cross the line. Formula and Jules, a little bit older tyres, Thomas Hornet as well. So, yeah, now we've got a sort of... This is now who can look after the tyres again towards the end. Lighter fuel, tracks, got that dry line, but it's just going to be slippy all the way through now, isn't it? It's not going to get really any grippier.
No, unless there is dry weather coming, it's not going to change from this now.
No, it doesn't look like it's getting any brighter, but we know how quickly it can change. And it can change.
Definitely still rain falling, and yeah, I suspect this could be us to the end now.
Yeah, I think you're right. 10 laps to go, and it's been a green flag race as well from the start,
which is also impressive for no assists. We've only lost one driver, and that was to his choice to retire. I don't know if he's got rear wing damage or something like that from the excursion he's had, but it is impressive that everybody's managed to keep going.
Yeah, certainly is. And, you know, only very few penalties as well further down the order. And, yeah, we've got a lot of gaps now. This is the closest. MJ still with Sociopath. There's only one front wing end plate between them. And this is just a nice little technical battle between them. And MJ, we've seen how quick he's been, starting from 20th on the grid and just worked his way through and done a fantastic job so far this evening. And you know, into 12th. Jules now with a 3-second penalty, but he's closed the gap to Formula, 1.4 seconds, but now he's really going to have his work cut out as he closes down the top 4.
Yeah, he's not only got to pass, he's then got to make 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's going to be tough in this condition. I think Bobo's sort of managing the pace a little bit, 7.5 seconds, 7.4, that gap between them, and Bobo can just take his time. But I tell you what, MJ is looking very, very close as they come down the start-finish straight, using some of his battery and the slipstream. Who's going to go to the inside? Sociopath goes to the inside to defend it. MJ decides he's not quite got the top speed over the Haas ahead of him, but he seems to have a bit more grip. Maybe, well, that's it. I mean, he's got one end plate, so maybe just had in the right-handers that extra bit of grip that he needed through turn 2, but wasn't able to do anything about it. Sociopath sitting on the line, defending well. And round once more they go, but Ant's now closed 6.5 seconds. Armour sets the fastest lap. That only be a couple of tenths, if not a tenth or so, ahead of what Ant's just done.
Although Ant and Armour are both starting to close down Bobo.
Yeah, they are. 6.8 that gap, and well, we could be into a grandstand finish. Only 1 lap difference in the tyre wear.
They're going to need about a second a lap though to be on his tail and get a couple of laps at it.
Yeah, but it also depends on how well they look after their tyres. We know how good Ant is, and if Armour's keeping with him the way he is, this could be a good finish. Could get a little bit nip and tuck. If we get to the only a couple of second difference, this could get very, very twitchy for Bobo. Welcome all 22 of you. As I said, don't forget to hit the thumbs up like button. Takes you only seconds to do. So please do. We're still only on 8, so come on folks, we need to get double figures at least from you. So please do hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, we're on 8 and one of them's me. Come on.
Yeah, I've also done it as well. So we're on 6.
So
come
technically
on.
we're on 6. Come on, people. Give us a like.
Yeah.
Where else do you get this sort of action on a Thursday night? I mean, the Premier League darts is done for the year. There's not much else on. I think football's done for a while.
There's some club, well, I don't know. I don't pay attention, I'm not going to lie.
Neither do I. I watch the darts when that's on, but I know that's done for a while.
Oh, well, there you go.
We've got the match play in a couple of weeks, which will obviously take up a Thursday night at some point.
Yeah.
Might have to make myself unavailable that week.
But I'll tell you what, Jules is now closed down to Formula, who has dropped even more. Oh, typical. I go away from MJ, and now he makes the move on Socio in the middle sector as well.
Yeah, I'm the same. I moved away from him, and all of a sudden he's finally got past after trying for 10 laps.
Yeah, and in the middle sector. I mean, come on, why did we manage that? How did that happen? And there's a little tussle going on in the mid sector as well. Not sure what that will be. We'll have to come back to that.
I think Socio's looking a little slidey. I wonder if he ran a little bit deep on a corner, and MJ just went, thank you.
Yeah, 2 lap difference as
but
well.
But Socio's definitely got the pace on the straights.
Yeah, he does. That's where MJ couldn't get through a couple of laps ago. But now we've got Jules all over the back of Formula. And then that gap's now increased again with Ant and Bobo, so back to over 7 seconds. I think Bobo has got this in the bag.
Yeah, it's too up and down, and there's no consistent gain there.
There isn't, is there? Yeah, it just
the problem is Ant's also having to fight off Armour, who's looking extremely racy behind him.
Yeah, he is. Again, still the battle for second is
I think if
ongoing.
Armour got past, he could possibly start to take chunks out of it.
Personally, I think because Armour's been there for so long now, I think they will be there or thereabouts between them. But again, it's one of those that he's underneath the dirty air. He's not going to be effective as much as if he was a good second or so back. So it's going to be interesting if he did get through and does, if he's keeping his battery just to stay there for now and maybe trying to push Ant into a mistake, which is very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, it just doesn't really happen.
He is definitely one of the most consistent racers we have, especially on tyre wear as well.
Oh, absolutely. I think he learned all of his tricks from this particular red car Rambo. With that one, he was the original tyre. The way he could take some of his tyres was just 3, 4, 5 laps beyond anybody could imagine. He was fantastic with them.
I'm surprised he's the one who's not pulling off the one-stoppers.
Well, that's it. I mean, and also does like conservative sort of strategies and uses the pace that he's got, which is why he is so fast and so quick.
Remember the days of, I think it was X, where we used to sit in the pits for like 15 minutes during qualifying, come out, do one lap and be right near the top?
Yes, he still does. Still does occasionally.
Oh, he still does that?
Yeah, occasionally. He does it occasionally in this, in Zero, and yeah, he's still got that capability, without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, I think he missed half the session in this, and then came out and did a couple of runs.
Yeah.
It's like, to have that confidence that you could come out of the pits and nail it first lap.
Oh, that's it. 100%.
That takes you back to... Do you remember the days when it used to be one-shot qualifying in reality?
Ooh, yes, they did, didn't they?
They used to go in a set order, and you had one go at it.
Yeah, yeah, that was a strange format. I think that was trialled for, what was it, one season or even less than that.
I think it was a season, maybe 2 at the most.
Yeah.
And then we kind of, I think they went back to the 60 minutes, and then it drifted into this 3-step qualifying, what we've got now.
Yeah, which I think is a good qualifying format, to be fair. I do like it. It does add that extra bit of jeopardy, doesn't it? It used to be like a shootout, so there'd be like a countdown time and the person slowest would drop out, didn't they? They tried sort of that one as well.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, Calvin 3 seconds, but he's got Hornet only 5.3 behind. That's going to get interesting towards the end, because he's dropped off the back. He's had a big moment somewhere, as we're just watching these two, the second and third, still nose to tail, but we've got Doris just dropped off the back of Rassam. Great race from both of them, especially Rassam. Incredible race from him. But Calvin's, had a moment. He's dropped off the back, and now we've got Hornet well away from G-Star. MJ is still just ahead of Sociopath, and not a million miles away from G-Star as well. This would be a fantastic if you could ever get top 10. We've got a yellow flag further back. I don't know if that was Smith, not 100% sure. Could be, I think.
I wish I was good enough to even think of top 10 in this. Although I think Tier 3 is probably a bit of a write-off in terms of a title this season.
I tell you what, look at Bobo. He's just managed it now, pulled the gap again. He wants the full crown this evening. He wants the pole position. He wants the win and the fastest lap, doesn't he? He's just increased that gap by over a second now, and just say, "Yeah, boys, okay. I was. Don't forget about me. I may be 8.5. Second BRD's fuel saving. He's fine. Okay, fair enough. That's okay. It has been green race, and you do save a bit of fuel when you are in wet conditions because of the early brake, because of the upshift, the short shifting. But yeah, if he's just saving fuel, that's absolutely cool. But he has actually closed that gap down to just a little bit, just to make sure Baby Hornet. But I tell you what, Jules is getting very racy with Formula W into turn 4. Has a little jink to make sure he knows he's there, but not quite close enough, and he's running out of laps, running out of time to be able to get through. But he's got to run up the hill into turn 6, not quite able to do it. Smith's now another 3-second warning, and I have got the penalties on there, folks, just in case I have that glitch that I have had before where it doesn't show the results. But it worked last night, so fingers crossed. But
this track is brutal on fuel, as me and you both know.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Just it's
season 9 when we both ran out of fuel.
Yeah, I lost a win from it. So
I lost a good position from it. I was half a lap over on fuel, and I ended up about running out on the last stretch before the line.
Yeah, I did. I ran out about where Jules is now, and I ran out, and it just slowed down. And then I think Morgan took the win that time, and I was in the lead by a couple of seconds. I don't know where I finished, third, fourth, maybe. But yeah, that was not. I've always overfueled since. I never underfueled now.
Well, I've never underfueled. I would always go half a lap over. But this track, I always debate a little bit extra just because of that.
Yeah, I'm normally a little bit more than that. I'm sort of 0.8-ish, give or take, and normally where I qualify, I'm in the pack, so the first few laps I'm lifting, coasting, and braking early anyway. But yeah, I'd just go very safe nowadays. So TC saying Formula's got this one. He does seem to have the measure of Jules at this moment. And the longer he holds him up, the less chance Jules have of trying to escape down the road to bench those 3 seconds. Hornet's close 3 seconds to Calvin. Don't know if he's really struggling with the fuel, but that's now allowed Baby Hornet within that 3-second window. So this would be a great race from Baby Hornet if he can clinch 8th from Calvin. But with starting the penultimate lap, Bobo with an 8.8 second lead. Armour very, very close once again to Ant. Are we going to see something in the penultimate lap? Ant goes very defensive into the first corner. Armour trying the outside line. Is he going to try the switchback, get the run through turn 2? But Ant seems to have the grip so far, and he just keeps ahead. Armour, nothing he could do that time around. What about Jules? I think we've had Baby Hornets left the session. He's had an internet problem. He said earlier he's had that, and he was so close. Oh,
he
no.
Disconnected so many times in Tier 3 last night as well.
Yeah, he was okay for. That's heartbreak because he was within the 3 seconds of Calvin. I don't know if we can get him back in quickly to finish the race because... I can't believe that for him. I really, really can't. That's heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak for him because what a race he's had. And that's a let-off for Calvin. Big, big let-off.
I've sent him an invite. I don't know if he'll be able to get back in because he was the host.
Yeah, but it migrates it, so somebody is. Vans has left, but Vans is DNF. Unfortunately, Baby Hornet has joined. Hopefully, he can quickly take control of his car and finish this race. But we are now starting. There it is, the final lap of this one. It's been a green flag race from start to finish. Bobo has controlled it and now sets a fastest lap just for kicks, I suppose.
Just put salt in that wound.
He really has. He's been impervious. All race long 10-second gap he has built to Ant, which is no mean feat, and he is really now battling. Armour goes a little bit wide through turn 2. Is this going to give Armour the run through turn 3 on the run down to turn 4? This is close. This is for second place. And Armour, is he going to be close enough in a straight line? He's having a look. Not quite close enough. Had to left off the brakes. It's still going to be slippy out there. Their tyres are going to be screaming at them. All assists on? No, there is a tier for all assists. Yes, there is tier 4. Has some traction and braking assists as well. But now Armour so close to Ant.
MJ and G-Star are getting very friendly at the moment, and Socio's clinging on to him as well.
Yeah, I have seen that. I did notice. I did clock that. But we've got Bobo now out as young cow. The climb up the hill for the final time. It's been an absolute masterclass from Bobo this evening. What a race he has had. He's controlled it from lights out, from pole position, and he takes the win here in Brazil. And can he hold off the charging Armour as the run towards the line? Armour's in the slipstream. Armour's pushing every bit of his overtake button. He's got left in it just over a 10th. Armour is in third. Jules has got ahead of Formula, but he's got the 3-second penalty. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's too little too late for the Red Bull man. But I think Formula is going to keep. He certainly is. He is going to keep 4th place from Jules in 5th. Rassam not a million miles away. Rassam takes it from Jules because of the 3 seconds. Rassam at the end. Wow, what a catch-up that is. Rassam 5th. Great race from him. Fantastic race. Doris is going to come across the line in 7th place. Calvin is going to be on his own as he goes cross-cutting outside of Jung Cow. You don't want to do that, man. You can actually get a penalty for that. That'll hurt. But Baby Hornet got back in his car. Heartbreak. He could have had 8th, but we're just going to leave those two because out of Jung Cow, we've got G-Star, we've got MJ, we've got Sociopath. The run towards the line. I think
Sociopath's lost it.
Oh no, he has as well outside Chicago, right the final corner. Oh, Socio up the hill, that's heartbreak. Thomas Hornet gets... He's going to come across in 13th. Sozi is going to get 12th after the penalties. And there we have... That's it, we'll have to... Hopefully we'll see the rest of them because a few people will lap down Socio. Can't believe it. Last corner.
Yeah, just got a little labby on the power trying to get that advantage, and he just kicked on him and he went.
Oh,
You just saw him spear left. It was like, oh no, that's so gutting.
Oh, that really is. Oh, look, Lunster has actually joined Discord. Fantastic, great to see. I've noticed he's in there. Oh, but there we are, folks. A Bobo dominant victory this evening. Absolute wet weather masterclass from pole position and held off Armour all race long. What a battle they had. I'm sure they'll be giving each other a lot of credit this evening. But we're going to try to cut and hopefully we'll get... There we are. Driver of the day is MJ, which you can't really deny from back of the grid. What a race he had with the most overtakes. The cleanest was Armour. The fastest lap went to Bobo with the race win. Here are your standings. Fantastic. I've got them. Bobo takes the win and fastest lap with Ant in second, Armour in third, Formula in fourth ahead of Rassam after the penalty. So fantastic race from him. Jules in sixth, Doris in seventh, Calvin eighth, Baby Hornet in 9th, G-Star in 10th, MJ 11th, Soze in 12th, Thomas Hornet 13th. Sociopath was classified in 14th. Smith, Loppy, Seb Mail, Vitelso, Dan and Vans was the only retiree. Wow. I mean, there was a lot of good racing there, but it was quiet, but it sort of just ticked along very nicely with some incredible battles as well.
Yeah, it was definitely good.
Yeah, certainly was. Certainly was. Well, there we are,
And
folks.
to get 19 finishes in those conditions with no assists, very impressive.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, certainly was. So everybody there can be very pleased and very proud of what they've accomplished there this evening. So that is us for the week, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the land of the Red Bulls next week at the Red Bull circuit in Austria. So do join us Monday evening from 7 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining. Simba, what a pleasure, my friend. So lovely to have you back and lovely to join together again.
Yeah, it was good. Bring the M&Ms back and try and get back into it.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. There'll be plenty more of that, I'm sure, to come this season. So, ladies and gents, thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, Mark. Pleasure. Well done, Bobo. Congrats to him and Armour as well on the podium. Have a lovely weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you on Monday evening for the Tier 2 boys as they commence around Austria. Have a lovely one. Good night.
Night.